For long, netas have spoken and people have heard them. It's been a one-way street. But now, the people of India will speak and our leaders will hear them. Hello and welcome to the first Right to be Heard Town Hall. This is a Headlines Today special initiative where we'll get one person who's in a position of authority and we'll get that person to interact directly with the people of India. I'm joined today by the Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit. We've got lots of young boys and girls from across the national capital who've got lots of questions for the Chief Minister. They're all angry, they're anxious, and they want to hear from their Chief Minister. I'm going to speak as little as possible. We'll take as many questions as we can, and we'll start with that lady in the green scarf.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm Riya Mahanta, and my question to you is, when people were protesting in Jantar Mantar and India Gate, the leaders were just unwilling to come out and respond. Why is there such a huge communication gap between our leaders and the mass?
Well, you were saying a point of view, and your anger was very legitimate. And the only question I can ask is that you had the right to say what you wanted to. You said it. There was apprehension with the police that perhaps it could go out of hand and lead into a situation where there could be an altercation, not just a verbal altercation, but also a physical altercation. So I think that was why this happened. And I don't think the policemen there or the people there who were supposed to be looking after you were anticipating such a big outburst, and neither perhaps did you anticipate that it was going to be as large as it did and that it had touched so many hearts and so deeply.
That lady there has a follow-up question on the same.
I have a question, ma'am, for you. We see US President coming on the platform with his wife, with his two daughters, connecting with the people. I asked same question to Headlines Today at India Gate. Same day the thing happened. So why our politicians are so unapproachable? Why they're not connecting with the people? Why they, in spite of taking a lot of appointments with LG, with you, we can't get through? What are the problems, ma'am? Why can't you come and face us, please?
Look, every country has a style, as a way of functioning. The American president probably does not meet people every day, every morning like most of us do in India. That's our style of meeting. And I'm rather sorry to hear that you weren't able to meet me, because I meet people every morning from 9 o'clock sharp, 9:15, to about 11 o'clock before I go to work. And I meet people from 7 to 9. Why the Prime Minister did not come and why Obama came, I cannot say. No. How come you wanted to meet me?
We wanted to meet during this protest, ma'am.
That's an important question. People believe that there is a wall between state and the people. That when they want to go and approach the Chief Minister, they don't get through. That they get water gas, the water cannons fired at them, the tear gas fired at them.
Yes,
they don't get an opportunity to meet you and speak to you directly.
This water gas, I believe, water cannons were, I believe, sometime in the afternoon. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, just a minute. Let me say, and then I'm here to be criticized. I'm willing for it. People come to me. Sometimes they come to me with appointments. Sometimes they don't come without one. There are times when I'm not at home. When you all came there, I wasn't aware of it, number one. Number two, the police used the water cannons, which perhaps, when I saw the film also, perhaps could easily have been avoided, especially when my people inside were telling them, let them come in. A group came after an hour or so after you all had left. That group came and gave me a representation. I called them in, came into my porch, I spoke to them. They were in anger, rightly so, and they gave me a representation where they said that the punishment for this kind of crime should be death, hang the gallows. So there are demands. I'm sorry if you came, you had said you would come and I wasn't able to meet you.
Okay, let's take some more questions. That lady over there.
Ma'am, I'm Akhiljeet. I'd like to ask you one simple question about the laid back and the late reaction from our government. Like, you must be knowing that the government has lately introduced sex education from the coming session, the CBSE 2013 and 14. So is it that the government was waiting for such a heinous act to be committed with such great impunity? And even what are the measures taken by the government, the Delhi government so far after the crime has been committed, and the slow process of the Verma committee as well? On the whole, the entire, the tortoise, I'd like to say, the move from the government on this issue, serious issue.
May I say one thing to you? I think all of you must very categorically understand that Delhi is not like any other state. It's not a full statehood. It does not have police with it at all. It does not have land. But having said that, it's still, we as a government, you look at us. We are the face. You look at us. Now what happened there, that the courts will bring out. The sequence of events, who was there, why were they late, if they were late, if they weren't late and all. As you know, the fast track court has been established, and that was done on the very second day after this incident took place, when we got to know on the 17th morning that such and such, so the fast track court was there. The Justice Verma committee has been set up. A Justice Mehra committee has been set up to see if there were any lacuna and to point out what went wrong and why were the delays there, if any there were. So it's not that the government has been unresponsive.
But the fear, ma'am, that people have is that once the anger dissipates, once people go back home, the same chalta hai attitude that led to the problem in the first place will come back. Everything will be forgotten.
Kavalji, I think this has been a great lesson for the police powers, for the governments, for all the institutions that are responsible for all this, to look after this, to make Delhi appear, be a safe city. But there is also a responsibility which all of us have. Now I am told, and I'm not saying that I know about it, but I am told, and that's what's been told to everybody, that apart from these vans which reached, perhaps a little late, or little, some say 13 minutes, whatever it is, there were people who went up and down, about 40-50 people traveling up and down that road. Nobody bothered to pick up this this girl who was almost dying, and the other fellow who was lying next to her in very bitter cold. So I think it's not just, the answer is not just one, let's make the police better, or let's make this thing. The answer also lies in what is the society's reaction to all this. But why does it happen in our society? Why is it that this is happening in a city like Delhi?
That's a very important question, because this, ma'am, is something that each of us needs to reflect on. One by one. We've got plenty of time. One by one. Ma'am, because the fact is, we can blame the system, we can blame the police, we can blame the government, but this is something that every one of us needs to reflect. Here the person lying naked on the road, bleeding to death, and nobody bothers to stop. It could be any one of us.
I think our conscience needs to pain, because in the extreme situation which these two young people were, somebody should have picked her up. But then, right, the young people, they have already said it, that it is police harassment, because possibly they just passed by, they didn't look that close, and they didn't realize that they were in such a bad state. But people are actually scared of the police. And it is true, I mean, that sometimes when even a policeman comes when there's an accident, people just tell them, please go away. Thank you. So, ma'am, another question from here I'd like to ask you is that we've heard you say often enough that the Delhi, and we all know it, that the police is not with the Delhi government, and you don't seem to sound very happy about it. Suppose the police was with the Delhi government, what changes would you like to see in the functioning of the police? Or as it is now, what changes would you like to see so that these kind of things don't happen?
Change number one is that nobody should feel afraid of going to a thana to lodge an FIR or something, because that is there. I entirely agree with you. A lot of people don't go there because there's too much harassment. Sit down there, come again another day, and so on and so forth. Secondly, we have to change the training pattern of the police. It has to be a more human police. No, the police today gives an impression that everybody who comes to the thana is either a criminal or somebody who's asked me to do a favor. That is not really true. So it requires training, but above all, as you say that unless we are able to give each one of us the confidence to say, walk into a thana, write an FIR, and so on. But this is not so now. It will take a little time, but I do believe, and I do think, and I think I'm correct, that the government has taken this decision, that a reorientation of the police, how to deal with ordinary citizens like you and me, has to take place.
Ma'am, one question now.
Yes,
Please
go
let
ahead.
me ask a question. After 16 December, the things have not ended. From 17 December to 31st December, again rape and gang rape cases, 63 have been reported. So the things have not ended. And it's just continuing. Delhi, we in fact feel that it has become a rape capital now. And I just want to...
One question.
I just want to ask a question. What is government's introspection? What is your analysis regarding the failure of the system? The system has failed somewhere, and what is your analysis
Okay,
as
you've
a
asked your
representative of the government?
I would say yes, the system has failed to that extent that such a horrendous thing took place and it could not cope up with it. But may I say one little thing, that rapes are known, and this study has come out, it's been there for a long time. It happened within households, it happened in the neighborhood, and nobody says anything. That is why, madam, I begged you right in the beginning that let us look inwardly. Let us see what is it that we are doing that rapes are being encouraged within families, within households, in the neighborhood.
Okay, Shazia.
Ma'am, much as we understand that there are essential patriarchal biases, the essential mindset is there, whereby people do this, but the responsibility of law and order, of policing, has to be met with, has to be dealt with.
Policing?
Now, also, I just want to know, let's simulate the situation. It's late in the evening and all of us will find ourselves in that situation any point of day or evening. What happens? I dial, there are 2-3 guys behind me saying all kinds of things. I'm not getting an auto. I'm by myself. And you can ask all the girls here. It's possible. It happens all the time. What do I do after that? I ask a couple of auto guys. They say we will not go. I tell them that, you're not supposed to do this. They don't listen. I call up the helpline number. There's nothing happens. So what I want to know is what happens now in the aftermath of what's happened. What have we learned? And in that situation, if you simulate it, what should I do? Where should I go? How does the system come and help me out from a very vulnerable position, which I might find myself in?
Look, I can understand your anger and anguish and also your fear. But we have to all come together in this, be helping each other. There are helplines. There is the 100 helpline of the police, which I don't know how it functions because I never had the opportunity to use it. There's a new helpline which we have started, 181. It had some beginning, it had some problems.
Lots of people were complaining
but
about
today,
it. Saying that if you call 181, they actually ask you to call the cops first.
Wait a minute, let me explain it. 181 is something which carries your message to the police thana, the nearest police thana, or the Delhi Women's Commission, that this is what is happening there, do that. Today when I came, today is about the 6th or 7th day, we've tried to put in 15 girls who have been trained in the whole thing as best as they can. Maybe they'll require more training. They're willing to change it all. We got 1700 calls. And the kind of calls that we have been given, and I'm not blaming anybody, they thought that here is 181, you can ring up any. I have not got my gas connection. My husband is having an affair with another woman. So give it a little time. We'll have to understand what a helpline is all about. Yeah, and we ask you to go to the nearest thana because they are the ones who are in law and order. So we connect the next thana immediately that there is a girl or a boy or a person or a family in distress immediately. PCR van should reach there immediately.
This young girl has some feedback on the use of the helpline.
Ma'am, this helpline was the only remorse that we heard from your side. So we tried calling on the 31st. There was only music we could hear. And post that,
it cannot be.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, that's the feedback, ma'am.
I've done it myself. I don't know, there may be, I don't know how many days ago you called, but I can tell you, you will get, because there is a waiting list. I said 1700 calls till 1 in the afternoon. It's not an easy thing. We've got 3 or 4 lines only. We will increase them if the need arises.
So what was your experience?
When I'm calling it on 181 yesterday, if the person on the other side tells me to call 100 again, tell me if I'm going through something wrong at that time.
181 is supposed to be helping you. And is supposed to, we will also call 100 immediately that she's standing in a place which has got Tilak Nagar Thana or Parbatgarh Thana or whatever it is. I am trying to say, all right, if you have received something, that person also takes it down, because we are not a police, this thing. We are only helping and warning that police thana that here is a person in distress, a family, a girl, whatever it may be, and let go immediately, so that the ban which is blamed sometimes it's come
but look at it from the perspective of a young girl. She is being harassed or molested on the streets.
No, you tell me what you want me to do.
She's calling 181.
All right.
181 says call 100.
No,
yes.
I take that. What do you want me to do?
Yes,
you tell me.
We want that if it's a helpline announced, then I should get absolute positive response, which is instantaneous.
You have been asked, we will also ring up, call up 100 at this Thana. We also tell them simultaneously that a particular this thing is happening. Now, if it does...
Ma'am, a lady is going through an abuse.
One by one, yes. Make your point.
Just a second, ma'am, just...
How to make it work? How do we make it work?
That's what I'm asking. We are trying to make it work. We are learning lessons. Wait a minute, please. But we are not an implementing authority. If we were, if we had our own PCR vans, if we had our own police force.
If you announce something like this, which is really succor for most of us and the only ray of hope, then we should ensure that it works.
Yes,
and it
please.
delivers.
I'd be very happy if you can tell me.
Please promise us, ma'am, that at least this will work.
Please tell me.
Please give us a promise.
If there's anything you want to suggest in it, that this system ought to function like this.
No, but why can't there be one helpline for everything, like a 911 type helpline, where you can call for all sorts of complaints and then 911 decides where to farm it out?
Kamalji, we put up this 181 primarily because we had been told by several people, dozens of people, that 100 does not respond. And when it does respond, it's too late. And we dare not go to the Thana because we feel afraid to go there.
My point is that while we understand that police force is not under Delhi governance, but we do understand it's not an autonomous body. 1. 2. You can have an understanding with the Home Ministry, the Central Home Ministry, and do something, because you are here saying that it's an implementational issue. Secondly, ma'am, transportation is under your authority. I'm sorry, this is the problem. Why she's not safe, why she's not safe, why she's not safe, why I'm not safe, is because we don't have proper transportational facilities. The point is that you are the Chief Minister, we are the taxpayers. That's the least you can promise us, that if I walk out, I will not be harassed by the driver or the conductor, or if there's not supposed to be any stain that should be removed.
I would be happy if you told me an incident that yes, this is what happened. This incident is the only one. Please listen. No, let me answer her first.
It's disconnected, so I'll just save you time, because it's the same thing. I'm speaking from personal experience. Yesterday only it happened. When I come out from Jantar Mantar, I board a bus and there is just the conductor, the driver and 2 helpers. There is no, let's say, police figure there who can protect me. I'm scared. Second day, yesterday, when I took an auto from there was no, I mean, on the 4th auto, I had to sit inside before I told him the destination. And I had no number plate from which I can register him and call 100. I just saw a PCR van and other bed I had to show him the hand to come out and help me. Ma'am, these are very basic lack in the provisions that you promised us, and how do we go about it?
No, we've not. We are correcting ourselves. All the problems that you are facing, like we should have policemen in this thing, it is not possible right now at the moment unless you employ more. So home guards are being put there. We've asked the former army. Just a minute, please. You see, it's not going to happen in 1 hour. It's not going to happen when I go out. We have been through this. 16th of December was this incident. It's woken us all up that there were some problems that we had not heard of earlier.
Lady over there has a question.
Ma'am, I'm from Miranda House and I stay in North Campus. Now, a lot of talk was going on, some years ago about the safety of the campus. Now, there are a lot of PCR vans in the campus. And I personally, I've been staying there since 3 years now. I personally feel more safe with the rickshawalas and the autowalas in my campus than the PCR vans. They check you out from top to bottom, be it, and there are a lot of female constables as well there. I like to mention that. But they look as if I'm getting raped out there, they just watch the show. That's how inactive they look, and I feel very unsafe with the male constables out there. So what are you actually, you can say that, okay, we've set out PCR vans for the safety of the campus, but actually it doesn't work.
Police
It's just
don't make the people feel safe.
I had a meeting with your Vice Chancellor, Mr. Dinesh Singh, and I asked him that please we must make the university campus even more safe, because there are young girls and they walk around and they go from college to college or from class to class. So there it is even more important, what is it you have to suggest? So he told me that they had enough PCR vans. He also told me that the National Social Service, NSS, he said he's going to activate that so that we can help each other out in a situation of distress. This thing that you have said, that you feel uncomfortable with policemen, answers my first question or my first statement, saying that we need to train our policemen to be more humane, more polite and more responsive to situations.
Okay, some questions from this side. The lady over here. Ma'am, 1 second. That lady over here, please. I'm going to come back.
Hello ma'am, I'm Charu. Most students here are outstation people, and now our parents are too scared to send us out. How can you assure them that we are safe here, even if that's to study? They are very scared.
But I can understand your fear right now. We're all fearful, we're all cautious, we're all very scared of what might happen. There are certain steps, certainly quite a lot of steps where law is concerned, where courts are concerned, so that judgments take place faster. There's also talk about changing the training pattern of the police, maybe increasing the police. Lots of us have said also that the VIP security should be reduced and people's security should be more important, and the visibility of the police, who you can trust, not the kind of PCR that the young lady here spoke about. All these are thoughts which are being thought about, all these are being studied, and all that I can say is that it won't happen tomorrow, it won't happen the very next hour, it won't happen within a week. These will come.
You got a question from here? Yes, go on.
Ma'am, I'm Soumya Sharma. I'm from Lady Shri Ram College, and we take pride in being a feminist college. There was this board put up in front of our college recently, and it clearly said issued by Delhi Police. There were guidelines for us that we should not eat outside. I mean, I am an outstation person. I have to eat outside. That we should not go out alone. Do I take 10 of these people to go with me just because I have the work? I mean, it was pure offensive. And I want to ask you the question, not just as a chief minister, but as a woman, isn't this offensive to you? That the authority that we trust to protect us do not believe that we are worthy of being protected?
No. I don't think you can say what you like, the words, the verbosity you want to use. I don't think that is the case, that you are not worthy of being protected. You are. You are the reason why any police force or anybody is there to protect anybody. You are the reason for that. Now, I've also heard about this police poster which has come out. It has hurt a lot of sentiments. The police, I believe, I don't know, I cannot say it with certainty, but I am told that the police has said that we have not taken out such a poster.
Just a minute. Clearly written, issued by Delhi Police.
Yes, but I have told them, I told my Chief Secretary, please find out if it's such a thing and withdraw it. Because there are some lines in it which are really offensive. I agree with you there. If I were you, I'd feel the same. So, we have to see who has done it, whether the police, and if the police has done it, then they should correct it.
But at some level...
Wait a minute, they should withdraw it and correct it. I am saying this on record here to each one of you, because they must have all been invited by each one of you. You please come and have tea with me. Come here, come to my house and ask me any number.
Okay, that lady over there in the corner.
I have an incident to narrate. The both of us were in Khan Market the other day. There were no autos. It was 9 o'clock at night. I wanted to go back home. I don't have a car. I had to depend on an auto. I went to the auto walas. They said no. There was a police booth over there. I went over there. There were two cops. One was sleeping. The other was there. I asked him to help me out. He said, "मैं नहीं help करूँगा. मुझे यहीं पे रहना है. I can't come out." What should I have done in that situation? The auto walas are making fun of me.
The auto walas are the biggest bullies in Delhi.
Kamalji?
Okay, let's hear her. Let's hear her. You've asked your question. Let's hear her.
Kamalji, I want to ask you and
Yes.
many other channels, many other media people, that all these years, that all of them have been in college, I have been in college, we've all been, we've never had to talk like this. So it's not that something has happened suddenly, but what has triggered it off, what has moved our conscience, and I'm glad it has, that we must do something. There are incidents like the one that happened on the 16th of December which are possible. Now, I am sorry, I'm really sorry for this, but I am not capable of answering what an auto wala did not go. Oh, just a minute.
They say that the amount they have to pay on the wrong side for getting an auto license in Delhi is so much. I'm not justifying their being the way they are, but they say they spend so much in getting the right to ply an auto that they feel that they've got to pull all that out. And again, there's no training. Now to come back to the 17 million in Delhi, the number of policemen in Delhi, I'm sure you'll be aware of this, is 1/4 of what has been prescribed by UN, less than half of what is the national average. With you as
No, you're wrong. It's not less than half the
half of the international average.
Maybe less than the UN.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Maybe less by the UN
UN is
prescription.
400.
Yes.
International average
Yes,
is 200.
yes,
Delhi is possible. You can multiply
Yeah,
the
yeah.
17
That
million
is-
by 85,000. Now, as a senior member of your party, unfortunately at the moment the same party is in the center, if we may say so. Can you please, and I'm sure you heard, why can't we have more police persons on the ground?
Madam,
Why are they all protecting
just a
VIPs?
minute.
No, have you?
That's precisely what I said.
Hear her.
That's a suggestion which I myself said, that we have to increase it with more
but you need to
sensitive,
put your foot
more
down.
responsive, better training, but it won't happen the moment I read.
Till that happens,
Ma'am, but they're
can
all
the
protecting.
VIPs give up their security.
Yes. Yes.
First of all, most of the girls who are here have expressed the problems they have and the fear they have vis-a-vis the police. Now, where should one go to report police in action? Where should one go when 181 does not work?
I'm telling
Where
you,
does one go when the SHO does
the
not
fact
fire
is, you
report
know
the
there
FIR?
is a 100 number. You are not satisfied. That's why we added on a 181.
Okay, give the
Now
mic.
you're not satisfied with that. Tell me, give me an idea. Okay, have this one. This is what you ought to do. This is what we fail. We do it.
Okay, go on.
Because we can do it at a policy level. We can think of wider things, but we cannot look at individuals.
Okay, go on.
For a long time, all that is being done is for the safety of girls. Girls should be doing this, girls should be doing that. Why isn't any kind of instruction being given to the boys? They are the ones who are doing it. We are only discussing the government.
Ask them.
Ma'am,
I'm
ma'am,
asking
the
you.
instructions
I'm
are
asking
coming-
your.
The instructions are coming from
That's
your
it.
side.
That's what I say. That requires a change in the way we look at genders. Both genders are equally important.
Yeah,
But
so that is what-
unfortunately, in many societies, there is a gender difference. Now that is something which no government can do, society has to do.
No, when
That's
you
why
can
I
instruct
said
the
It's
girls,
coming
that
from
when
the
you
top,
can instruct
man.
the girls,
You know this Lakshman Rekha, marriage is a social
who is
contract.
coming from the top? Who said it?
These are all senior politicians who are saying it. Somebody says women are dented, painted. All
People
this
who
is
said
happening.
it.
That lady over there.
Ma'am, you spoke about laws. Don't you think it's unfair that the most aggressive offender is being protected by the juvenile law? He committed the
That's
same
the law.
crime.
Sorry, beta. You must understand that's the law. There is a. Wait a minute. There is a debate going on whether this juvenile law should not apply in cases of rape. So please remember, you can only go by the law that exists today. You need to change it. I agree that there is a debate going on.
Okay, that lady over there.
The other countries have such laws that the people before committing such crimes, they think twice. Like in maybe they just don't want to do that. Like in Korea, the crime for such things is castration. Why don't we have such laws?
Madam, you know you're a college girl, are you? You're all right. You're a college girl. So what I would suggest to you is that all you girls and boys, if you have some opinion, like she had an opinion about a juvenile law, you have some opinion why are there such laws, till they are changed, you have to abide by those laws. They may be outdated, they may be wrong, they may have no place.
Do you think the law should be changed?
Just a minute, listen to what I'm saying. I would suggest each one of you, if you have an idea about the law, please write to the Justice Verma committee. They have asked everybody to give them ideas so that they can also sift through the law.
But Justice Verma has made so many committees. Most of them haven't been implemented. There's so many committees over the past 2 decades that he's been
I'm not answering for what has happened or not happened. I'm asking for what is their current question.
Let's get one of the boys to ask a question after
Ma'am,
that.
you rightly said that this thing happening is by amendment in the law, we can't change. We have to change the mindset. But this seems, this is an escapism. You are also responsible. How to change the mindset? What are the initiatives taken by the Delhi government?
Would you change your mindset?
Yes, yes.
Fine, then we'll change it.
No,
that's not so. Everyone is not that privileged to change their mindset. There are people who are not educated, and it's very important to change their mindset. For that, we need social changes. Everyone is not capable of changing his mindset. I am educated, I can change my mindset. I cannot be patriarchal, but you cannot expect a slum dweller not to be patriarchal because he has been culminated, his mindset has been culminated in a society which is patriarchal. So the government has to take initiatives to change that mindset.
Ma'am, no, but this is an important question. How does society change itself? The fact is, this is a societal problem. Do you as leaders have a plan?
Have you ever heard, we are going to start a campaign where we are going to call it the Awaz Uthao campaign. There are many other campaigns that we are thinking of to awaken and to feel that there are nothing like a gender difference. They are equal, because that is where the whole discrimination sometimes starts. But I want to ask any one of you, I don't remember any time reading in history that a government could change a society. You have to also awaken yourself. This is my sister. This is my mother, this is my daughter. Just a minute. Each one of us has to sing that this is the woman who is my mother, who is my sister, who is my daughter, who is my wife. How do I treat her? And this I'm specially addressing to all the boys. Governments will tell you, which government will tell you don't treat your sister as you should treat her? That's what I'm saying. So there has to be a holistic way of looking at it. It's just don't put it on the police.
Okay,
just don't put it on the government.
Here. Yes.
Put it on society. What is my responsibility? What is your responsibility?
One by one, please. Without a mic, you can't be heard. One by one.
Ma'am, I'm Archana Singh. Ma'am, I want to ask. They say you wear this dress, you wear that dress. But what if a 3-year-old girl has been raped? 6-year-old child has been raped. What the government is doing for them? Like, and what is the punishment being given to?
Aren't you ashamed of this happening in our society? Tell me
yes,
that.
It's been.
Aren't we all ashamed of it?
Yes, ma'am.
That a 3-year-old girl or a 6-year-old child is raped by her uncle or her father or somebody like that.
Preschool.
May I ask you one little question? That is where I say that the thinking of the society, it's not just by making platitudes, speaking out. What do we do with that? How does it happen? Can any government enter every household and take this? So please look at society.
Okay. You've asked a question. Yes. Go on.
You spoke about the home guards. There was a recent case of a home guard being molested. Even the cops are not spared.
I know that.
Ma'am, why is there such a sense of...
I've heard that. I've seen that incident. We've asked them to inquire how did this happen. Please give us a chance. I can't give you a ready-made answer why this happened.
How is there such a sense of fearlessness among the criminals?
And nobody's scared of the law. Nobody's scared of those who are supposed to enforce the law.
I'm sorry to say that a law which is broken inside a household.
No, but what about those outside?
Outside,
people are not scared.
This particular case is being tried. And laws, it is being thought that laws are not stringent enough. We should make laws which are more stringent. That all
but
that
look
is
at the
going
rate
on,
of conviction.
The first
out of the 635 cases, one has been
which are
convicted
going
so far.
only for this kind of crimes. Those have been set up. What more? Do you tell us something else?
We've got a lady from outside India over here. She's got some problems of her. Yes.
My name is Alida Djeti. And since safety is involved, I would like to ask, what has been, decided to find the roots of the problem? Because everything starts from something. So what has been decided by the government to find the roots of all those rape, of those molestation, and all those things that we hear about? And second thing, I would like to know what has been provided for foreigners. Because, for example, when I go to Sarojini market, I will be hearing some instruction through the speaker, but it is in Hindi. So how are we supposed to understand that? One day I went inside the bus also and I saw 100 or something like that, but it was all written in Hindi. So how
No,
foreigner can understand
It's
all these
always
things?
mostly in English also, but we'll see that wherever you found that it is not so, we'll see that.
Okay, that lady over there at the back.
So,
Ma'am, you have
Rahul.
been asking about the measures that can be taken. There is a talk about civil policing going on. What are the steps that you have taken for civil policing?
We have requested the police, and the commissioner has also, I think, said it somewhere. I can't vouch for it, but I think he said that policing should be far more visible than it is today.
Ma'am, why can't we have volunteers from the society itself? They can do the
Well,
civil
if
policing.
you
They
would
can
think
go.
like to do those kind of jobs, then I think you should write, but you would have to be trained for it.
Yes, they
That
can be
requires it.
volunteer.
So
and
why
they
not?
can-
That is when you
they
enter
can
the police.
probably be-
When you enter the police service or any home guard service, you are given a training, or even disaster management. That's all are being trained. If any one of you are interested, please write to them.
the lady
Yeah,
next
they
to her.
They can be trained
Just
to
one
use the
second, the lady
shotguns.
next to her.
Hello ma'am, my name is Twisha. I'm an LSR student and I wanted to ask you, talk about campaigns, this campaign, that campaign, this little law, that little law. How many more crimes are you waiting to happen for a next law?
Can I ask you a question? Just a minute. I want to ask each one of you a question. We've carried on a huge campaign against infant feticide. How many families have followed it? The richer they are, the more deaths take place when a child is only a feticide. So there are what? You can't stop somebody from killing their own girls. Have you thought of that?
The powers to be in this country tag us as dented and painted women, then what hope can we have from society if the leaders
Well, the
who lead
person
this
you are
nation-
referring to has apologized for that.
Ma'am, as we come to the concluding part of the show, what's the message you want to leave these young girls with so that they can go out of our studios feeling a bit more reassured, feeling that the system will work for them, will help protect them as opposed to exploit?
I'm not here to lecture any one of you. You are enough to lecture all of us. All of you are aware, you are enlightened citizens, you've been through certain experiences. All that I can say is that something has happened in our society where we find that we need to tighten ourselves, have a relook, introspect, and seriously introspect. In that introspection, the government also, whether its agencies, maybe it may be the police, it may be the judiciary, it may be the bureaucracy, we also need to introspect, because this is one incident which has woken us up, and I hope it has woken all of us up. Nothing is going to happen by tomorrow morning, please remember that. But it's a huge bell which has rung, and I think we should look at it very seriously instead of putting the blame on somebody else.
Ma'am, very often citizens feel that the police force and the system protects VIPs. You know,
I've said so already.
How do you change
I have
that?
said so, that the police force must have a relook at the VIP security. Some of it is inevitable. There are all the VVIPs of the country here and the world, which diplomats also. But if you can cut down on security, please do so without any hesitation. Security should be more for citizens. I've said it again and again.
I think everybody has made more than sufficient point, but the point is, there is a proper law and order and a process. She cannot come up with constables just like that out of the air. You need to go through a whole process. There are selections. Okay? If there are laws and things coming up, finally they've come up. Before this, they were underground. They've come up. The government will work. It is not going to happen in one day.
If you keep questioning, listen, being a common citizen of this country, I have a very simple thing to say, that unless we don't cooperate with the government and government cooperates with us, how are we going to make a change? So we need to keep ourselves calm to a level that we make a difference. We need to come together.
Real power is to empower people, and that's what we want.
We need to cooperate. We need to be calm and take decisions for ourselves.
I have a recommendation for the Chief Minister to help her achieve what we wanted to achieve, and that is, I think we should work it out within ourselves, form vigilante groups, etc., work it out to support, to strengthen their hands. How can you have a policeman for every lady around? It's impossible. We have to find a way. And we have to find a way. We have to form groups in the colonies, etc. Bring the people to book. Bring the people to book.
Now we have seen how politicians have been making comments about how girls should be contained and they should make men their brothers to protect themselves from rape. So ma'am, these are our leaders and in all probability their mentality is not going to change. So ma'am, do you think, my question to you, if you think that these leaders should step down and make way for a youth quake?
Eventually you who are going to take over. There's no question of taking anybody's place. No, there's no question. If you think you can become the secretary to the government when you're in college, it won't happen, baby. You'll have to wait. But you come there. By all means, come.
Okay, we're out of time on this program. I want to thank all our guests for having come here and participated in the Right to be Heard town hall. I also want to thank the Chief Minister for making time to listen. It's been a very heated exchange. She sat there patiently, heard each one of us out. I hope that the message that these people are sending back is taken, absorbed and acted on. Madam Chief Minister, for joining us on the Right to be Heard town hall. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming over here. Thank you.